Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we're actually jumping right in. Looks like Dustin has already landed a fetch land into a Ponder, and Matt has a Green Sun Zenith and a Nettle Sentinel. All right. So, and this is not actually going to be Bomberman. This is going to be a Grixis Phoenix build. We got Dark Ritual, Cabal, Therapy, stripping another card, and now Dark Confidant. Brian has the explosive potential of a squad of Arclight Phoenixes, and he's actually happy to trade off the Dark Confidant as he is trying to contain this elf situation. Elvish Visionary draws a card. We have Lotus Petal, and just passing the turn. Just a couple of cards in his hand. I could definitely see trading off the Dark Confidant when you have what you need in hand already, but the fact that he did not have any type of useful play there, not thrilled. Elvish Visionary turns sideways, and Gaia's Cradle can be coming down to help out with the mana production soon. Another Glimpse, and Allosaurus Shepherd. Cradle will tap for 4 mana now. And a Green Sun Zenith. X equals 3. Grabbing, a Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, main deck Scavenging Ooze. That is going to do some heavy lifting versus a bunch of decks in the format. That's part of the reason. I mean, that is the reason why it's in there. Really just as a utility option for that Zenith. And now those Phoenixes are not a realistic possibility. Everything turning sideways and the wheels are falling off here. Oh, triple Phoenix and a Buried Alive in hand. Difficult to come up with a worst hand. Oh my gosh, that is just atrocious. Well, you know what? You might as well use your terrible hands up in games that weren't going to be close anyways. Wow, that is absolutely brutal. Triple Phoenix and a Buried Alive. That is spectacularly bad. That's the main problem with the deck, is you do get some random clunkiness, but those cantrips can really help that. And I mean, they just make a tremendous amount of options possible in Legacy. Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, all of these cantrips can allow you to do some really goofy stuff that just would not come together frequently enough in order to make it work. I don't know how Tron manages. It seems like they just naturally have turn 3 Tron all the time, but I'll tell you, for any other type of combo, it seems like you really do need a whole lot of fixing to actually make it happen reliably. And Legacy is the format for that. I mean, if you want to try and make some crazy combo happen, this is the place. Here we've got Buried Alive along with the Phoenixes. I mean, that's not a game-winning combo, but it's a combo nonetheless. It does get a lot of power on board, attacking your opponent's life total, and potentially attacking their hand. You got cards like Cabal Therapy, which can really take advantage of the extra bodies that the Buried Alive brings to the table. It is a card that I probably will always think of a conversation I had a long time ago. I was trying to explain to somebody about subjective values, and Buried Alive came up as just a card that I was saying wasn't worth very much, or wasn't, particularly good card. And the price had moved enough to finally recognize that casual players are all about it. Matt has a pair of ley lines. Well, we'll see if the rest of his hand is good enough. Yeah, I mean, Brian is definitely capable of playing a game without putting the Phoenixes into the bin. This is going to be interesting. Double Leyline is, in some ways, a mull. And this Phoenix deck is not at all on the same level as like a Reanimator deck. So even if Brian gets his Phoenixes, it's not in any way a given that Matt can't outrace even the best options. Even like a turn 1, like multiple rituals into a Buried Alive, get the Phoenixes back. It is possible that Matt can actually come back and win that. Now we've got a Plague Engineer on the other side. Mercifully, I guess, Nettle Sentinel doesn't just die to it. It is a 2/2. But this Plague Engineer is very, very dangerous, and I suspect Matt would feel better if his sideboard options were like an Assassin's Trophy or something instead of those ley lines, but we'll see. It's possible Brian's deck will not give him a viable path toward victory, and Matt might have a natural order line that could do some work. Elvish Visionary just cycling, paying the 2 mana. And nope. Thought about attacking for a split second, remembered it was a 1/1, and walked it back. Considering kind of jumping through hoops here, I'm not sure what the utility would be there. He can pick up Nettle Sentinel and untap the Dryad Arbor at some point. Oh, that's graphic. Liliana, the last hope, just brutal. Absolute massacre. -1 to all of these 1 toughness creatures that were giving some amount of hope. I would have actually killed the Dryad Arbor first myself, but Wirewood Symbiote is the default idea. Lily takes a hit, doesn't care. She's getting ready to murder this mana base. Gaia's Cradle's not really going to be an impressive card, and yeah, these ley lines are not really going to matter. It seems like Brian's going to get complete control of this match, of this game, I should say. Dryad Arbor down, and now Dark Ritual into another Liliana. This is some rough stuff. And a Thoughtseize after going through the Liliana lines, showing just 3 1 toughness elves and a Wirewood Symbiote. I don't even think you play him. He's just going to die to Lily. Yeah, this is just... I think we're just seeing a resigning. Well, no, he's going to tough it out, probably just for the camera. I feel like Matt knows, like, there's just nothing to be done here. Fetching out a Dryad Arbor, but, I mean, this is just trying to stop Lily from ultimating. Honestly, Plague Engineer could take it down by himself. I don't think there's any getting out of this in the next 6 turns. And yeah, he's just going to scoop it up. We'll see if he takes those ley lines out. It really doesn't feel like they're worth the slot. I'm not sure what you'd be taking out for them. That would obviously matter a lot, but it doesn't feel to me like it's likely that those are going to be worthwhile in this matchup. The best Phoenix can do is get 9 hasty damage on board. Elves doesn't have to hurt itself, so that's potentially just like a 3-turn situation. And Elves can win on the 2nd turn with its absolute best draws, so I would probably not care about the Phoenixes. You know, there's going to be some situations where you get wrecked with Cabal therapies being flashed back and that type of thing, where maybe the ley line would have been nice, but you're already down a card with the ley line. There we saw, 2 cards. So I do suspect that Matt's going to make the adjustment, as that was, that was pretty brutal. As I was on a call this morning talking with people about slasher films. I don't even know how it came up. We were talking about just the types of nostalgic entertainment that is, in their view, acceptable, and they brought up Rob Zombie movies as just being too much for them, and I feel like there may be some viewers that can identify with that after the absolute beating that we saw there. Plague Engineer and Lily just picking things off at will. No real chance there. Matt with that awesome Foglio playmat. Brian's got a very nice playmat as well, but I do love the original artists of Magic still interacting with the community. That's what that mat is about. I actually picked up a bunch of all of their art. The Foglios had a awesome Kickstarter with these iconic Magic cards on them. I actually don't know what the values of them are now. I'd have to take a look. They were $80 before, but this is the type of thing where I would not be surprised at all if they end up being a couple $100 for a playmat. They're never going to make them again. The quality is superb. Stitch edging, really beautiful, really well done. And of course, Matt has done a lot to popularize Eurekatel, a blue-green variant on Sneak and Show. I've worked on that a little bit with him. Though I think he's gone far past the round of revisions that I had advocated for in the meta, as it were. That was mostly getting all 4 Veil of Summers into the main deck, and then also freeing up the ability to have Leyline of the Void in the sideboard, as Reanimator was running rampant at the time, and it didn't seem like Surgicals or other cuter cards were going to be good enough to actually stop a very difficult matchup. Reanimator and Sneak and Show are a interesting pair of decks. So when you could potentially be giving your opponent really good stuff from your show and tell, it does get a lot scarier. You don't want to be facing down an opposing Gristlebrand, for example. Now Matt has a Quirion Dryad, a Quirion Ranger, not Dryad. That is one of my favorite cards. Oh, and that's it. Well, Brian has reached 3 mana. He is pondering. Any turn moving forward could bring a highly disruptive permanent, as we saw, Plague Engineer and Liliana, both of them absolutely brutal. Lily's also really interesting because it can generate a very legit win condition. And a Lightning Bolt clears the Quirion Ranger. Oh, Dark Ritual into... I mean, I thought it was going to be a Buried Alive. Is that an Opposition Agent? I think that's Opposition Agent. So, perhaps not the best timing for the Opposition Agent. Nope, we're revealing the hand. Oh, it was actually perfect timing. That was in response to a fetch. Get out of here. That is brutal. That's where you want to be with Opposition Agent, is responding to a fetch land or a tutor effect, not just preemptively playing it to be efficient with your mana. And Matt has been denied a mana while ramping Brian, and he also now has to contend with the fact, he's going to have to use his Abrupt Decay is what's going to happen. If he wasn't able to handle that, he still has another Abrupt Decay in hand. Then it would be something that shuts off your Green Sun Zenith and your Natural Orders as well. So the Bayou tapping Cabal Therapy gets that other Abrupt Decay out of there, and Dark Confidant happily arrives to try and help Brian's mana base perhaps pick up a little more traction. 3 mana, Allosaurus Shepherd looking for 6 mana. Dark Confidant's going to be looking to... I guess at 3 mana now, he can just draw into... Or 4 mana, I should say. He can draw into just about anything good. Don't want to forget about that Bayou that he picked up with the Opposition Agent. And now Heritage Druid. Okay, so he can push through some damage now. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he can push through 5 right now, right? He's got... But he'll have to tap 3 of them. Yeah, only 1 creature can turn sideways. He's going to send the Elvish Visionary and then make it a 5/5. But next turn, this is going to be lethal. Dark Confidant gets an extra card for Brian. Is it going to be enough? Oh, no. Plague Engineer. What a swing. Big oof for Matt. Dark Confidant just coolly bringing some backup to the table. Green Sun Zenith X equals 2. That can grab the Scavenging Ooze, who can potentially solve the situation, so he'll be able to gain some life, get way bigger. Ultimately, we'll just have to trade with the Plague Engineer in all likelihood. We'll see. Oh, is that a bolt? Perhaps an Abrade off the top. Oh, there was hope, and it has been dashed. Yep. Nettle Sentinel making his last stand. It looks like Brian is going to get this one, not on the back of the Phoenix combo, but just on the back of being Grixis. Having some answers. Oh, maybe Phoenixes will show up at the end here. We got 1 spell, 2 spells. It's got to be instants or sorceries. What's it going to be? Faithless Looting, Dark Ritual. He can flash back the Faithless Looting. He's got the mana from the Ritual. That'll do. Oh, Cabal Therapy. And that gets the Phoenixes back. Everything turning sideways. Dark Confidant can probably trade. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's no likelihood of success here. Faithless Looting getting flashed back. And yeah, I can't think of anything that's really gonna work out here. Dark Confidant is sacrificed. I suppose you wouldn't want to kill the Dark Confidant with your guy, given that it's one of the only ways that you could actually win would be him flipping like an Arclight Phoenix off the top. But Brian, understanding the risks at hand, sends with everything. And that will do it. Yeah, that was an interesting ending sequence. There's some possibilities there with how that could have went, blowing up the Plague Engineer and then attacking with a larger Nettle Sentinel could have complicated things, but at the end of the day, Brian takes that one down. Plague Engineer is still a very strong card versus Elves. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.